A sunny morning and a summit looming. Tony Blair knew this would be a difficult day. He had no idea how testing it was about to become. Terrorism was not on his G8 agenda as he strode from a terrace breakfast with a confident President Bush. But as they walked, the bombs were heading for their targets. Into a briefing where the mood was upbeat, an Olympic triumph and a presidential bike crash lightening the mood.
But thank you for your leadership. This is going to be a successful summit.
We listened, they left. Our pictures record this moment at almost exactly 8:51 when the bomb at Liverpool Street Station exploded. Unaware, Mr. Blair meets the President of China. In London, people are now dying. Within minutes, he will be told of 3 still unexplained explosions underground. On the steps of the Summit Hotel, his mood is suddenly changed. He waits for news. It is only minutes after the bus bombing, around the time of these pictures, that it is clear to him that London has been attacked by terrorists. He and George Bush now have a very new but familiar conversation. Inside, he briefed his fellow leaders. The details were still sketchy. His audience clearly anxious. Many here have faced terrorist atrocities. Many here were divided on the wars that followed. But to their host, a now visibly tense man, there was simply solidarity. The meeting began on time. Then 3 hours and 9 minutes after the first bomb, it fell to the Prime Minister to confirm to the world that this was a terrorist attack.
Whatever they do, it is our determination that they will never succeed in destroying what we hold dear in this country and in other civilized nations throughout the world. Thank you.
A short time later, and the world gathered here was literally shoulder to shoulder behind him.
We are united in our resolve to confront and defeat this terrorism that is not an attack on one nation, but on all nations and on civilized people everywhere.
His spokesman said Mr. Blair was shocked. Within minutes he was leaving the summit. The messages already coming in from European capitals. We are all Londoners now. President Bush offering his support.
The war on terror goes on. I was most impressed by the resolve of all the leaders in the room. Their resolve is as strong as my resolve, and that is we will not yield to these people. We will not yield to the terrorists.
Messages too from London, dozens dead and injured. Mr. Blair heading there first by a helicopter that would fly over a Union flag at half-mast. The morning had begun. It was 1:30. Mid-afternoon, London, Scotland Yard, half a mile from the scene of one explosion. The Home Secretary briefing Mr. Blair, the Foreign Office scouring Islamist websites for any sign of a threat, a claim, a perpetrator. Then to Downing Street to meet the committee of ministers and intelligence leaders set up for just this type of bombing. The bombing we've all been warned was coming sooner rather than later. With the death toll at 33, Tony Blair delivered a speech that will long be remembered.
This has been a most terrible and tragic atrocity that has cost many innocent lives. There will, of course, now be the most intense police and security service action to make sure that we bring those responsible to justice. I would also pay tribute to the stoicism and resilience of the people of London. It is through terrorism that the people that have committed this terrible act express their values. And it's right at this moment that we demonstrate ours. I think we all know what they're trying to do. They're trying to use the slaughter of innocent people to cow us, to frighten us out of doing the things that we want to do, of trying to stop us going about our business as normal as we're entitled to do. And they should not and they must not succeed. When they try to intimidate us, we will not be intimidated. When they seek to change our country or our way of life by these methods, we will not be changed. When they try to divide our people or weaken our resolve, we will not be divided and our resolve will hold firm. We will show by our spirit and dignity and by a quiet but true strength that there is in the British people, that our values will long outlast theirs. The purpose of terrorism is just that. It is to terrorize people, and we will not be terrorized.
Within minutes, the death toll was raised to 37. Mr. Blair left to return to his business, his summit, leaving a bombed and bloodied capital and a people shocked, many in mourning, more than 700 injured. Within the last few minutes, Tony Blair has landed back at the summit to prove tonight and on a new day his resolve that democracy, government and life will go on, despite the carnage of a terrible day. Bill Neely, ITV News.